It's been over 9 months since she got her second dose. She can't walk. She's in a wheelchair. I just want to give everybody a better idea of what happens in a trial because I did not know. When you enter the trial, everybody uses a trial app. The app only allows you to record solicited adverse events, fever, redness, mild, moderate. There's no free form to fill in any other reaction that you have. What you have to do if you have any other type of adverse event is you have to call the study doctor. This leaves a lot of room for human error and concern of reporting bias coming from the principal investigator. The principal investigator for Maddie's trial is the lead author for the New England Journal of Medicine article. What made it into the trial record is unclear. There's no mention of Maddie's adverse reactions in that article. In the EUA amendment, Maddie's adverse reaction was reduced to 5 lines that was eventually diagnosed as functional abdominal pain. By the data cutoff for the trial, Maddie experienced over 35 adverse events. None of these were mentioned in either document. Maddie was in the hospital when the EUA was approved. I thought that Maddie would be in the best hands possible in the rare chance she has a severe reaction. That was not the case. They did everything in their power to hide everything. Neither Pfizer, the FDA, or the CDC has ever talked to us.
A year ago, I received my COVID vaccine when I gladly signed up for a clinical trial here in the United States with AstraZeneca. I was assured that if something were to go wrong, there would be protocols in place to provide a safety net, that the data would be collected and the benefits as well as the risks would be assessed and disclosed to the public. The pharmaceutical company agreed to pay any medical expense as a result of a possible injury. We have had to refinance our home to pay for our medical expenses. Like Maddie's trial, we had a tracking app. Like Maddie's trial, our tracking app had pre-designated symptoms in a bullet list with no free form to add any other symptoms. The clinical trial report published by the New England Journal of Medicine says the second dose is required to continue in a study. Because my reaction was so severe, I was not allowed to get the second dose. This is different than what is found in the report, which says that these individuals chose to forego the second dose. The clinical trial report also says serious adverse events will be recorded through day 730. I last heard from them on day 60. I am almost at day 365. That is 10 months of critical safety data gone. The heads of the NIH, FDA, and CDC have known firsthand about my case and thousands of others. They know that their lack of acknowledgement has created insurmountable barrier to our ability to receive medical care from doctors who rely on these agencies for information. They know about the issues with the clinical trials. They know about the deaths. They know about the lack of follow-up on VAERS. They know about the injuries to children. They know about Maddie. I have discussed Maddie with them. They know about the suicides as the results of months-long suffering. They know about the aggressive censorship. We did video conferences with Peter Marks and Janet Woodcock, constant emails with Janet Woodcock and myself directly.
FDA's done everything to ensure that the COVID-19 vaccines we've authorized have met the agency's high standards for quality, safety, and effectiveness.
We train students on how to go beyond a study abstract and start to pick apart and critically assess biomedical studies, not just take them at face value. Everybody knows that COVID vaccines save lives. The clinical trials proved that to be the case. But is it true? The evidence is flimsy. The trials did not show a reduction in death. And you can see that there were similar numbers of deaths in the vaccine and placebo groups, even for COVID deaths, with just 2 deaths in the placebo group versus 1 in the vaccine group. My point is not that I know the truth about what the vaccine can and cannot do. My point is that those who claimed the trials showed the vaccines were highly effective in saving lives were wrong. The trials did not demonstrate this.
All of the vaccines that received emergency use approval by FDA went through that process and were judged to be safe and effective. That's about the most rigorous evaluation that's ever been done of a vaccine, so you should feel very comfortable.
I don't think people realize that all these people who had COVID were excluded from the trials. What's going to happen to the 16 million children who've already had the virus, who already have immunity, and we're going to subject them to something that wasn't even tested in that group?
Now, from the clinical trials and real-world data, some 6 billion shots being given out around the world, that it is a safe and effective vaccine.
I was working on Pfizer's trial. What I saw was like nothing I've ever seen before. The speed in which they were enrolling in the study, 4 to 5 coordinators pushing through 40, 50, 60 patients a day. We were not storing the vaccine at its appropriate temperature. The failures in reporting serious adverse events. We had so many reports of adverse events. Again, we just could not keep up. The study doctor signed a physical exam when he wasn't even in clinic. Ventavia had unblinded every patient that was randomized in the trial. When we brought it to their attention, that's what we were instructed to do, remove the evidence and destroy it. Emails about mislabeled blood specimens. Per Pfizer's protocol, we should have immediately stopped enrolling, but they never told Pfizer. I would bring the concerns to my managers, and we're understaffed. The FDA, they only see what Pfizer gives them. So I was documenting all of this. And on the 25th of September, I went directly to the FDA, and about 6.5 hours later, I lost my job. I was fired.
We undertook a rigorous and thorough review of these scientific data. We're confident that this can be used in this population. Obviously, we will continue to monitor the safety.
And obviously, the safety looks really, really good.
I support vaccines, and I've been vaccinated myself. But I do have concerns about research integrity and the process used to authorize, approve, and mandate vaccines during this emergency. Among 72 studies on the Pfizer vaccine that are registered in clinicaltrials.gov, only one is shown to have been completed, and 0, that's right, 0 studies have reported their results publicly.
So while we're told to keep following the science, what we are following is not a scientific process based on open data. We're following a process in which the data are treated as secret. And in my view, there's something very unscientific about that.
It's not science if you can't see the data, and you cannot see the data from Pfizer trials.
We've got these amazing 2,500 volunteers, people highly credentialed, medical researchers, doctors and nurses poring over these 55,000 documents that a court order forced Pfizer and the FDA to release. Well, they're finding that there were horrible harms, deaths, spontaneous abortions, neurological problems, fainting, heart damage, debilitating muscle pain, debilitating joint pain that were concealed by Pfizer and the FDA from the American people.
No matter what they try, I will always